Good afternoon, colleagues. Get ready to get started with our voting session. We're going to voting list number 9. These are alcohol bills. Steve, any luck? Okay, we'll just hold it. First bill, House Bill 443, is going to be held. I didn't get it yet. Yeah, we're just going to hold it so we can withdraw. Next bill, please. 443 is held.
The next bill is House Bill 587, which authorizes the Frederick County Board of License Commissioners to issue a manufacturer's limited beer, wine, and liquor permit to a holder of a Class 1 distillery license or Class 5 brewery license. There are 2 sets of amendments in your packet. The first one specifies that the holder may not have a direct or indirect pecuniary interest in the licensed caterer or other contractor party. The second amendment from the delegation provides that the permit holder may not allow patrons who are visiting any part of the manufacturer's licensed premises that's open to the public to enter the private event while the private event is going on. This passed out favorable with amendments from the subcommittee.
Move the amendment.
All in favor of the amendment, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Hearing none.
Bill amended.
On the bill as amended, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All present voting except for, want to just go through it once?
Just go through it.
Okay, we'll do it one time and we'll try and. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard is excused. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chia is excused. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo.
Aye.
Delegate Adams. Delegate Arentz. Delegate Pippi. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Ampry. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen is excused. The bill moves as amended.
We have all.
I apologize.
You ready?
Next bill is House Bill 623.
Establishes a Class L beer and wine license in Harford County and authorizes the Harford County Board of License Commissioners to issue the license to the holder of a manufacturer's license. This bill was voted unfavorable and
Motion is unfavorable. Any discussion? On the unfavorable, all in favor say aye. Is there any opposed? The motion unfavorable. Bill moves unfavorable. Next bill, please.
the next bill is House Bill 633. The bill establishes a barbershop and beauty salon beer and wine license in Harford County and authorizes the Harford County Board of License Commissioners to issue the license to a holder of a barbershop or beauty salon permit. There should be 2 amendments in your packet. One amendment from the delegation establishes a record keeping requirement. The second amendment in the package comes from the Alcoholic Beverages Subcommittee and strikes the language allowing purchasing from a retailer.
On the amendments, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. On the bill as amended, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Is there any opposition to this bill? All present voted in favor. What moves forward is amended. Next bill, please.
House Bill 654 from St. Mary's County Delegation establishes a nonprofit performing arts theater license. The amendment from the Alcoholic Beverages Subcommittee strikes language allowing the licensee to purchase from a retailer.
Move the amendment.
All in favor of the amendment, say aye. Any opposition?
Move those amendments.
On the bill as amended. All in favor, say aye. Is there any opposition to this bill? Seeing none, bill moves forward as amended.
Next bill is House Bill 743. As drafted, the bill alters the promoter's permit in Frederick County to rename it as a promoter's on-sale beer, wine, and liquor license. The amendment in your packet changes it from a license back to a permit and specifies that the permit holder cannot also hold a license. Did not go to subcommittee.
On the amendments, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. On the bill as amended, any discussion? All those in favor of this bill, say aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, all present voted favorable. Bill moves forward favorable with amendments. $843, was that withdrawn? Okay. Next bill, please. Apologize.
House Bill 843.
Move on favor.
Motion is unfavorable. Any discussion? Any opposed to the unfavorable? All in favor say aye. All present voted aye on the unfavorable. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1089 authorizes the Baltimore City Board of License Commissioners to issue a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license for use by a restaurant in the downtown management district. There are no amendments in your packet and it passed favorable from the subcommittee.
On the bill, move favorable. Any discussion? Any opposition to this bill? All in favor say aye. All present voted in favor. Bill moves forward. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1118 alters existing eligibility criteria for performing arts theater license in Hartford County. There is an amendment in your packet that removes the provision relating to for-profits having a Class C per diem license.
We're in 1118.
It passed favorable with amendments from subcommittee.
On the amendments, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the amendment, say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. On the bill? On the bill as amended, any opposition to this bill moving forward? Hearing none. All in favor of the bill? Bill moves forward as amended. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1340 repeals the monopoly of the Liquor Control Board and its dispensary system for the sale and distribution of specified wine and liquor in Wycomico County. There are amendments in your packet that strike changes in the bill that repeal a dispensary's ability to sell beer and wine, and strikes the repeal in the bill of the Liquor Control Board to hold wine tasting and sampling promotional events in dispensaries. It was voted favorable with amendments out of subcommittee.
On the amendments, all in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Hearing none. On the bill as amended, any discussion? Delegate Adams.
So council, there was a letter that came from Wycomico County. There was two letters. One was an original letter and then there was a amended version, which I think brought beer and wine back into the bill where they can sell that. Can you confirm that's in the bill? Okay, all right, thank you.
Any more discussion on this bill as amended? All the bill is amended. All in favor say aye. Is there any opposition to this bill? Hearing none, all present voted aye. Bill moves forward. It was 1340. Next bill is House Bill 1341.
Bill 1341 authorizes the holder of a Class B beer, wine, and liquor license to purchase liquor for retail sale from a county dispensary or from a licensed wholesaler.
Motion is moving forward favorably. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All present voted favorably on this bill. Bill moves forward. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1377 establishes a Class DBR license in Frederick County and authorizes the Frederick County Board of License Commissioners to issue the license to a holder of a Class 5 brewery license and serve as a required on-premises consumption permit. There's an amendment in your package that changes it from a license to a permit.
On the amendments, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. On the bill is amended. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of this bill moving forward as amended, say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. All present voted in favorable. Bill moves forward as amended. That concludes voting list number 9. Moving on to voting list number 10. All right, we're on voting list number 10. First bill is House Bill 24.
House Bill 24 is a bill that ECM has a secondary assignment. Primary is ENT, which voted the bill with amendments. For those who are counting score, the vote in committee there was 20-2.
The amendment.
On the amendments, any discussion? Hearing none. On the bill,
Those amendments.
I think we have to do a true
Yes.
count on this one.
Yep.
Mr. Vice Chair,
Aye.
Delegate Harrison, Delegate Boafo, Delegate Howard is excused, Delegate Charkoudian, Delegate Rose, Delegate Fennell, yep, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Turner, Delegate Valderrama, Delegate Chi is excused, Delegate Frazier Hidalgo,
Aye.
Delegate Adams, Delegate Aaron's, and Delegate Pippy, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Amprey, Delegate Weibel, Delegate Fisher, Delegate Queen is excused. Bill moves forward as amended. Next bill, please.
Next bill is House Bill 36, departmental bill from the Maryland Insurance Administration on public adjusters. There are amendments that have been worked out with the chairman of the committee here. So the bill with the amendments would provide a uniform 15 business day period for any insured to rescind a public adjuster contract, and also the existing 15 business days for the public adjuster to return property received under such a rescinded contract. The bill as it came in also dealt with essentially storm chasing. What the bill as amended does is to say that anytime a public adjuster enters into a contract for public adjustment within during or within 72 hours after the loss event, must notify the MIA commissioner of that within 1 business day. In addition, the prohibition against soliciting any insured for such a contract in the bill came in 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. as a blockout period, and that's retained. Also retained is the striking the limitation that contractor fraud for roof repairs, for example, need be weather related.
On the amendments, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Those amendments.
On the bill is amended. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Vice Chair,
Aye.
Delegate Harrison, Delegate Bafo. Delegate Howard is excused. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi is excused. Delegate Frazier Dago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippi. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen is excused. Bill moves forward as amended. Next bill, please.
The consent calendar, recurrent summer study for House Bills 101 and 917.
You gonna call the question?
Yep. Consent on the consent calendar, moving them both to referring to summer study. Is there any opposition? All in favor, say aye. Any opposition? Hearing none. All present voted yea. Move to summer study. We're ready. Bill 136.
House Bill 136 prohibits employers from taking or threatening to take adverse action against employees who take specified actions related to equal pay for equal work, Maryland wage and hour, workplace fraud, prevailing wage, and living wage laws. There are amendments in your packet that prohibit an employee from hindering or delaying the commission or the enforcement of the act, prohibits a person from making a groundless or malicious complaint, and provides for enforcement of the act.
On the amendments, all in favor, say aye. Any opposition? Hearing none on the bill. On bill is amended. Any discussion? Hearing none. Delegate Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Bafo. Delegate Howard is excused. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi is excused. Delegate Frazier Dago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippi. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen is excused. Delegate Queen is excused. Bill moves forward as amended. Next bill, please. Next bill, House Bill
Next bill-
246.
The next bill is House Bill 246, which establishes a framework for the regulation of earned wage access services. There are two sets of amendments in your package. The first amendment from Delegate Frazier Hidalgo removes the authorization for companies to charge interest. It sets a default tip amount to 0 and caps the per transaction fee to $3.50 per transaction.
For the amendment.
On the amendments, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
Move those amended.
I believe there's a second set of amendments to discuss.
There's a second set of amendments off.
Of it.
Oh,
So we'll belay that motion.
there's a second set of amendments offered by Delegate Amprey that provides that the tip does not accrue over time, may not be considered to create a rate of interest above that allowed under this subtitle.
This was you? All right, well, I believe that with the direction we took this, Delegate Frazier Dago, I know this is one of your babies, many babies. So it is my understanding that because of this specific type of transaction, we're using fees instead of the APR, and we're moving away from the APR. Well, it still would be considered a loan. It would not be under APR. Would you like to withdraw your amendment? Thank you. Amendment's been withdrawn. Chris, do you have amendments or questions?
We've got a verbal amendment.
Well, that always works. Okay.
So in the amendments, the sponsor, is it your sponsor amendment or you, raises the fee, or puts a cap on the fee at $3.50?
Yes.
So I would make an amendment to have the cap, go to $4.
I'm sure there's gonna be a discussion.
Well, the discussion is if we're gonna do this and we're gonna go down this path, I just think that the 50 cents, considering the costs of ACH and different expenses to do this, it's being asked of us to consider $4 and not $3.50.
Well, and I guess I would, question I would pose is they also do it for free, right? And they pay the same ACH, and I know your business, so that's where they push a transaction forward. That's like what, 50 cents?
Mm-hmm.
So it seems incongruous to what we're trying to obviously establish something, and I feel that the industry has gone from almost being legislated out of existence. We breathe life in it, but I think again, this is Delegate Frazier Odago's baby. I think we found, we thought was a middle ground with that $3.50. It wasn't quite the $4, and it wasn't the $2 a month that would be allowed under the Department of Labor's.
Mm-hmm.
We really came a long way through this bill. Again, we saw a lot of the middle ground that's just capping it. It doesn't, the Department of Labor actually wanted to cap the amount that you could actually spend per month as well. So I think we have pushed this bill a long way, and I believe the good delegate, found this as the middle ground, to where he could get the bill to fit in. So if you'd like to pressure amendment, we sure could. So because the fact that they do them for free also with all the same cost, that's why I was a little confused about that extra 50 cents. Because they don't have to do them for free. They
Well,
could
it seems
actually
like, so $3.99 must have some bearing in these fee conversations. So to go at $4, they would then be able to do whatever they're doing within the context of what we're trying to pass by law. So you would actually be giving some relief to these companies, do a thing, and we're only talking about 50 cents. So and I'll stop and hear.
Well,
And I will not press the amendment. If there's no will for it, then I'm.
And I'll just say this in again, because
Yeah.
if you remember the discussion, there was a whole line of discussion about this being abusive and somehow taking advantage of individuals. And it was very, the good delegate did a yeoman's share of work, just breathing life back into this. Because the industry was pretty much on its way out with any financial benefit. As you've heard from the hearings and the multiple, meetings we've had with Department of Labor, this really was, this was pushing leaps and bounds beyond what the Department of Labor had recommended. And again, if you'd like to push your amendment, I understand. We've tried our best, and I've spoken with, the people in this area that they practice, and I understand they want to go to 4, maybe 5. I got it. There's always going to be that next number. So I appreciate it. And again, if you want to pressure amendment, that's fine. But I would respectfully ask folks to resist this amendment, because this is really us doing a lot of work to come to the middle. And I think we went well beyond the middle on this.
Okay.
So, but it's on you, Chris.
Withdrawal amendment.
Thank you.
Those amendments.
On the bill as amended, is there any discussion? Hearing none. You know what? We'll always say yeah, because it's not like, they get to hear about it when we hear about it. And we've had some discussion. I think what some of the main opposition, Department of Labor didn't like it. I believe that and other individuals didn't like it. The EWA, whatever it's called, earned wage access people didn't like it, which means we probably did the right thing. Pissed everybody off a little bit. So I think that I believe there would be opposition. I don't know if it's to the detriment of the bill or not. And I know that this bill will also be in the Senate. So I think they'll have time, because at some point you have to stop doing work. How about that? At some point, as much as it is, and we're making policy, we run out of time. We have to move a product forward. It's as good as we can get. So there may be some opposition. I'm sure you'll get some text as we speak, but this is where we are. Mr. Vice Chair.
Aye.
On the favorable with amendments, Delegate Harrison, Delegate Boafo, Delegate Howard is excused, Delegate Charkoudian, Delegate Rose, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner, Delegate Valderrama, Delegate Chia is excused, Delegate Frazier Hidalgo, Delegate Adams, Delegate Aaron's, Delegate Pippy, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Amprey, Delegate Weibel, Delegate Fisher, Delegate Queen is excused. The bill moves forward as amended. And again, I appreciate your input on that, Chris. Next bill, please.
House Bill 251, this departmental bill specifies that employees of for-profit organizations that are contracted by a governmental, charitable, educational, or religious organization are not subject to limitations related to successive academic terms and other established time periods for purposes of the payment of unemployment insurance benefits.
The motion is the bill moving forward favorable. There are no amendments. Is there any discussion on the bill? Hearing none. Delegate Crosby, Delegate Harrison, Delegate Buafo, Delegate Howard is excused. Delegate Charkoudian, Delegate Rose, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner, Delegate Valderrama, Delegate Chi is excused. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo, Delegate Adams, Delegate Aaron's, Delegate Pippy, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Amprey, Delegate Wyval, Delegate Fisher, Delegate Queen is excused. Next bill, please.
House Bill 419 requires that businesses that use a digital point of sale system that prompt a customer to select an amount for a tip conspicuously display on the same screen information disclosing to whom the tip will be allocated. There are amendments in your packet that remove the civil penalty, require businesses to maintain records for at least 3 years, requires the Division of Consumer Protection to adopt regulations to administer and enforce the act, establishes that a violation is an unfair, abusive, or deceptive trade practice, and requiring that a business display a tip amount set at 0 by default.
Move the amendment. Second.
On the amendments, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the amendment, say aye. Any opposed?
Move those.
The bill is amended. Any discussion?
May.
Please.
We talked about this bill kind of at length, the fine and working out the owner versus like the franchisee and stuff. How does that work? Maybe pick like a fast food establishment where this would occur. Violation happens. How do you foresee with this bill who gets the fine type deal?
And again, I would, and again, I'm sure Madam Attorney would step in, but it would be whoever's the owner of the business is. And in franchises, there's always an owner.
The franchisee, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay. So I can see in that scenario, the franchisee and then, okay, all right. I think I understood. Thank you.
Delegate Amprey.
As amended, so this bill still wouldn't apply to printed receipts. It only applies to on-screen transactions. So someone can avoid this law by just printing out receipts.
They choose to.
Okay.
Any other questions? Seeing none. Mr. Vice Chair, Delegate Harrison, Delegate Buafo, Delegate Howard is excused. Delegate Rose, Delegate Charkoudian, Delegate Rose, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner, Delegate Valderrama, Delegate Chi is excused. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo, Delegate Adams, Delegate Aaron's, Delegate Pippy, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Amprey, Delegate Wyval, Delegate Fisher, Delegate Queen. Bill moves, yep, I got it. Excuse, bill moves as amended. Next bill, please.
House Bill 468 from Delegates Love and Boyce, where primary, ENT is secondary, establishes a short-term commission to advance lithium-ion battery safety in Maryland. Has to come with, under the amendments, the commission would have to have an interim report at the end of this year and a final report at the end of 2025. The amendments add 3 members to the commission, which would be a one representative from the PSC, 1 representative from the Power Plant Research Project, and 1 representative from MIFRI. The additions in the charge of the commission include standards that they have to recommend, as well as for reusing, recycling, and decommissioning lithium-ion batteries.
The amendment.
On the amendments, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. On the bill is amended, any discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Vice Chair,
Aye.
Delegate Harrison, Delegate Buafo, Delegate Howard is excused. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner.
Yeah.
Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chia is excused. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Ampery. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen is excused. Bill moves favorable as amended.
Consent calendar withdrawn by sponsor for House Bill 469 and 1226.
On the consent calendar, moved to withdrawn, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Bill's withdrawn. Next bill, please. Sure.
Next bill, House Bill 505 from Delegate Charkoudian. There are amendments in your packet, or at least what were sent out. And this is the bill that originally had limitations on cost recovery by public service companies and reports. With the amendments, from Doug Crosby, it strikes everything from the bill except the requirement for electric companies to join and belong to a regional transmission organization, read PJM. There's an additional amendment, pardon me, in your packet from Delegate Adams that would strike the requirement to join an RTO by a municipal electric utility.
Just to clarify, Bob, it also, the amendment doesn't strike the requirements to report the voting either, correct?
Correct.
That was Doug Adams had an amendment. So I'm sure he'll be supporting this bill. Okay, on the amendments, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the amendment, say aye. Any opposed?
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill is amended, any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Vice Chair, Delegate Harrison, Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard is excused. Delegate Charkoudian, Delegate Rose, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner, Delegate Valderrama, Delegate Chia is excused. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo, Delegate Adams, Delegate Aaron's, Delegate Pippy, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Ampery, Delegate Wyval, Delegate Fisher, Delegate Queen is excused. Bills moves forward as amended. Next bill, please.
House Bill 650, Labor and Employment Apprenticeship Standards, Ratio of Apprentices to Journeypersons. This bill was amended to strike the bill and now requires the Maryland Department of Labor to submit a report to the General Assembly that analyzes the apprenticeship mentoring ratio for all non-traditional apprenticeable occupations in the state.
On the amendments, is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none.
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill is amended, any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Crosby,
Aye.
Delegate Harrison, Delegate Boafo, Delegate Howard is excused. Delegate Charkoudian, Delegate Rose, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner, Delegate Valderrama, Delegate Chia is excused. Delegate Frazier Hidalgo, Delegate Adams, Delegate Aaron's, Delegate Pippy, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Ampery, Delegate Wyval, Delegate Fisher, Delegate Queen is excused. Bill moves favorable as amended.
House Bill,
Brief indulgence, that's 871?
Yeah.
Okay.
House Bill 871 requires a licensed automotive dismantler, scrap metal processor, or junk dealer that acquires all or part of a catalytic converter to record and keep in the person's records the vehicle identification number and other specified identifying information about the vehicle from which the catalytic converter was obtained. There is an amendment, but as I just received it, perhaps the sponsor could explain the amendment.
So the amendment was the product of negotiation with Sims.
Who?
Hold on one second. Sims Metal, which is a company, and they are part of a larger company called Institute of Scrap Recycling Industries. All the amendment does is that it just clarifies that any catalytic converter received from a person, this law would apply to. How is the language that it has now would make it seem like any part of a car that they might receive would be included in that. And that's not what we're trying to go for. We're trying to go for the individuals who are turning in catalytic converters. So that's all that the amendment is
I
clarifying.
apologize. It sounded like you said any person. It wouldn't apply to a person.
It applies to, it's just clarifying the language for a person, an individual in a detached catalytic converter.
I guess I need some clarity. The individual is the buyer or the individual is the
The
seller?
person who's turning the catalytic converter in for money.
The seller.
Yes,
So this would only apply to a seller,
to an individual.
to an individual seller. So businesses themselves,
They have to have a license in order to go to do business. But individuals who turn in a catalytic converter off the street.
we'll hold it. All right. All right. We'll hold this bill. Okay. Next bill, please.
House Bill 888 generally alters statutory provisions under the Corporations and Associations article regarding the ratification of defective corporate acts. There are no amendments.
Favorable.
Another edgy Ampry bill. Is there any discussion? Clearly none. Mr. On the bill, you move forward. Okay. Is there a second? Thank you. On the favorable, Delegate Crosby,
Aye.
Delegate Harrison, Delegate Boafo, Delegate Howard is excused, Delegate Charkoudian, Delegate Rose, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner, Delegate Valderrama, Delegate Chi is excused, Delegate Frazier Dago, Delegate Adams, Delegate Aaron's, Delegate Pippy, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Ampry, Delegate Weibel, Delegate Fisher. There we go. And Delegate Queen is excused. Bill moves forward, favorable, no amendments. Next bill, please.
Next bill is House Bill 896, which establishes numerous rules and procedures that merchants must follow when selling gift cards in the state. There's an amendment in your packet from the Vice Chair that alters the definition provisions, clarifies requirements related to specific card types, alters requirements for online sale of gift cards, adds requirements for packaging, adds requirements for third-party gift card sellers, and alters enforcement provisions.
The amendment.
Any discussion on the amendments? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none.
Those bills amended.
On the bill as amended, any discussion? Delegate Pippy.
Thank you. Bill's been, I don't know, heavily amended, but there was some questions about the private right of action or whether that's in there, not in there, amended out. Is it construed as to be in there?
That is in here. You are a victim of a scam. Let me look and see right quick whether or not, because you're specifically like the Consumer Protection Act or a specific.
Yeah, so like what sort of remedies would what are all the remedies a victim would have with this bill as amended?
So in the bill, if you're a victim of a scam, like any other victim, you could call the police and file a report to get your money back. Let me see what else is. in here, because I think that that is the major one regarding what a victim can take advantage of, is letting them go to the authorities. The authorities, since they have to have a list of the online sellers now, they have to register with the Office of Attorney General, so that they keep that record keeping provision. So in the AG's office is involved.
The unfair and
Deceptive
deceptive
trade
trade.
practices, yes.
Aren't there basic penalties for that, or are they
Yeah, it's under the Consumer Protection Act, it's unfair. and deceptive.
10,000 and 25,000?
Is it, and I don't know the answer to this, is there a private right of action in that unfair
In the
section?
Consumer Protection Act section, yes, there's a private right of action.
Okay, so so it's not delineated in this bill per se, but you're permitted to seek any remedy under that other section, which would also include that.
Private right of action.
Okay,
Correct.
thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate it.
Any other discussion on the bill as amended? Hearing none. Mr. Chairman.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard is excused. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi is excused. Delegate Frazier Hildago.
Aye.
Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Wyval. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen is excused. Bill moves forward favorably. Next bill, please. Brief indulgence. Summer study on
House Bill,
9/17.
okay. House Bill 1028 was amended to strike the bill and establish the electric.
We're gonna hold this bill, please. Next bill, please.
Next bill is House Bill 1112. There are amendments from the sponsor that have been distributed. This is the bill that came in as acquisition of energy storage devices as approved by PSC. What the amendments do is to maintain much of that, but in addition, provide for really trying to address the reliability must-run requirements that might come down when certain power plants are closed. And so if energy storage is ordered by the commission to be deployed, there is an expedited CPCN process that's been amended at the beginning of the bill. The amendments provide additional context in the definition of energy storage device and energy generating system. The bill as amended would require the commission to make a determination under this section anytime OPC, MEA, and IO investor-owned electric company or other party submits notice to the commission that an energy generating system, read power plant, is likely to be deactivated and may negatively impact system reliability. At that point, then, once the commission determines that would do so, or in the process of making that determination that a deactivation would negatively impact reliability, commission has to essentially engage in a conversation with PJM, verifying numbers and verifying system impacts. Thereafter, the commission may determine that the use of one or more energy storage devices together or separately would avoid or limit the reliability must-run agreement and be in the public interest. The commission will then have an additional conversation with PJM and then issue orders to investor-owned electric companies to construct, acquire, lease, or contract for energy storage devices. The additional amendments require the investor-owned utility companies that they shall seek recovery from the cost to deploy them as a transmission asset under FERC and in a manner reasonably anticipated to maximize the value to customers of the company. And that's basically most of the amendments.
Move the amendment.
On the amendments, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the amendment, say aye. Any opposed? I see Delegate Adams is
On the bill.
Move the bills amended.
on the bill as amended. Any discussion? Delegate Adams.
Okay, that was definitely a Laura Charcutean amendment.
It definitely was.
So in the packet, I am looking at testimony from Pepco, and so the second to last paragraph says Pepco and Delmarva Power are concerned that there are no protection in this legislation that would prevent utilities from being penalized for delays in undertaking or completing energy storage projects amid supply chain shortages, regulatory challenges, and permitting and citing delays. So my question is, did the amendment assuage Pepco's concerns? Thank you. I will take her word for it.
Any further discussion on the bill? Hearing none. On the bill as amended, Delegate Crosby,
Aye.
Delegate Harrison, Boafo, Delegate Howard is excused, Delegate Charcutean, Delegate Rose, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner, Delegate Valderrama, Delegate Chi is excused, Delegate Frazier Hidalgo, Delegate Adams, Delegate Aaron's, for now, Delegate Pippy, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Amprey, Delegate Weibel, Delegate Fisher, Delegate Queen is excused. Bill passes as amended. Next bill, please.
House Bill 116 requires a licensed restaurant to also have a trader's license if the restaurant also sells merchandise. There's an amendment in your packet that establishes an exception for businesses that generate less than 10% of its annual sales from non-food items.
Who provided that amendment? Okay. Um, On the amendments, all in favor say aye. Any opposition? Hearing none. On the bill? On the bill as amended, any discussion? Delegate Pippy?
Thank you. And I could ask Steve, but I figured it'd be helpful for the good of the order. What is this a scenario in which an existing business would need to get two licenses?
I guess it depends on if they, at this point, if you're a restaurant that sells over 10% of your gross
non-food item.
if you have more than 10% of your growth, it's non-food items. Let's say you're selling trinkets, it's one thing, but if
Yeah.
you're selling, you basically have a convenience store outside. If it's any more than that, they would like you to get a trader's license as well as the restaurateur license.
So for example, like a lot of breweries and kind of cool restaurants, they do this thing now where you come into the entrance and they have T-shirts and other things to kind of market their brand.
Cool restaurants?
Well, whatever,
Okay.
uncool restaurants, you know what I mean? Places that you and I don't go to. But so if those sales by dollar volume happens to exceed 10%, they would have to apply for a separate license, pay a fee. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Any other discussions on the bill as amended? Delegate Crosby,
Aye.
Delegate Harrison, Delegate Boafo, Delegate Howard is excused, Delegate Charcutean, Delegate Rose, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner, Delegate Valderrama, Delegate Chi is excused, Delegate Frazier Hidalgo, Delegate Adams, Delegate Aaron's, Delegate Pippy, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Amprey, Delegate Weibel, Delegate Fisher, Delegate Queen is excused. Bill moves forward favorably. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1128 establishes the Talent Innovation Program within the Maryland Department of Labor. There is an amendment in your packet that removes all funding provisions.
Move the amendment.
Removes all funding provisions. On the amendment, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none on the bill? On the bill as amended, any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Vice Chair,
Aye.
Delegate Harrison, Delegate Boafo, Delegate Howard is excused, Delegate Charcutean, Delegate Rose, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner, Delegate Valderrama, Delegate Chi is excused, Delegate Frazier Hidalgo, Delegate Adams, Delegate Aaron's, Delegate Pippy, Delegate Jackson, Delegate Johnson, Delegate Rogers, Delegate Amprey, Delegate Weibel, Delegate Fisher, and Delegate Queen is excused. You guys are consistent. We're going to be holding 1180. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1182 specifies that disgorgement is a type of restitution available under the civil enforcement provisions of the Maryland Antitrust Act. There are no amendments.
On the bill, is there any discussion? Seeing none. Delegate Crosby. Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard is excused. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi is excused. Delegate Frazier Dago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen is excused. Bill moves forward. Next bill, please. 1226.
Has already been withdrawn. 1256.
On House Bill 1256.
House Bill 1256, there are substantial amendments in your packet from sponsor Delegate Frazier Hidalgo. This is the bill that, as amended, does a couple of major things. It requires investor-owned utilities to file pilot programs for time of use for residential and small commercial customers. It requires, and that pilot program will generate data that will allow Public Service Commission over a period of years, several years, to study and decide whether time of use should become opt-out rather than opt-in. Even those that are in the pilot program, if they are taking a beneficial use package, will have the opportunity to opt out, by the way, from the time of use program. And essentially, the PSC will be studying whether the time of use will help system reliability. The amendments also provide that for better integration of electric vehicles into the grid as also to help reliability, and also allows distribution companies to delay implementation of that integration if they need to do so to upgrade their facilities first. For example, bidirectional electric vehicle systems providing electricity to the system. Munis and co-ops do not have to establish a pilot program, but may file to do so. If they do so, they're treated the same way as the investor-owned utilities are doing the pilots. And other than that, most of the amendments change what had been electric company references in the bill to be investor-owned electric companies. So you're only talking about the PHI companies, Potomac Electric and BGE, as opposed to the co-ops of munis.
Move the amendments.
On the amendments, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none on the bill.
Move the bill as amended.
On the bill as amended, any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Crosby.
Aye.
Delegate Harrison. Delegate Boafo. Delegate Howard excused. Delegate Charkoudian. Delegate Rose. Delegate Pruski. Delegate Fennell. Delegate Turner. Delegate Valderrama. Delegate Chi is excused. Delegate Frazier Dago. Delegate Adams. Delegate Aaron's. Delegate Pippy. Delegate Jackson. Delegate Johnson. Delegate Rogers. Delegate Amprey. Delegate Weibel. Delegate Fisher. Delegate Queen is excused. The bill passes as amended. Next bill, please.
House Bill 1280. House Bill 1285 authorizes a licensed social worker to register with the Workers' Compensation Commission as a rehabilitation practitioner. There is an amendment in your packet that removes the requirement that a licensed social worker be certified by the State Board of Social Work examiners to provide vocational rehabilitation services.
On the amendment, any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. On the bill as amended, any discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, Delegate Harrison, Delegate Boafo, Delegate Howard is excused, Delegate Charkoudian, Delegate Rose, Delegate Pruski, Delegate Fennell, Delegate Turner, Delegate Valderrama, Doggett Chi is excused. Doggett Frazier Hidalgo. Doggett Adams. Doggett Aaron's. Doggett Pippy. Doggett Jackson. Doggett Johnson. Doggett Rogers. Doggett Ampery. Doggett Wyval. Doggett Fisher. Doggett Queen is excused. Next bill, please.
The next bill is House Bill 1299, which alters the applicability of the Maryland Consumer Protection Act to include certain unfair, abusive, or deceptive trade practices in trade or commerce, including any economic activity within the state that involves or relates to any commodity or service.
On the bill, moving favorable. Do we have any discussion? Doggett Adams.
Was there any opposition to the bill? I'm in the file, but I'm not necessarily seeing. I asked because it seems like it seems like a very broad bill.
The only person who signed up unfavorable was Robert Enton from the Maryland Bankers Association.
Okay, do we know what his concerns were? Because I literally don't see anything in writing here.
You're right, he did not submit written testimony. What he said during the hearing was that he's concerned about making this business to business.
He's concerned about
Business
business
to
to business.
We're basically expanding this to the Maryland Consumer Protection Act to businesses that act as consumers.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, we know. Any further discussion on the bill? Hearing none. Mr. Vice Chairman.
Aye.
Doggett Harrison. Doggett Boafo. Doggett Howard is excused. Doggett Charkoudian. Doggett Rose. Doggett Pruski. Doggett Fennell. Doggett Turner. Doggett Valderrama. Doggett Chi is excused. Doggett Frazier Hidalgo. Doggett Adams. Doggett Aaron's. Doggett Pippy. Doggett Jackson. Doggett Johnson. Doggett Rogers. Doggett Ampery. Doggett Wyval. Doggett Fisher. Doggett Queen is excused. Last bill.
House Bill 1482. There is an amendment in your, minor amendment in your packet. This is the bill that will increase the uninsured motorist penalties for the first time since 1991, and provide that a certain portion of the monies that come from those, which are distributed according to a formula, will have a certain portion of right now goes to the uninsured division that is administered but not funded by MAVE. And what this will provide is with the amendment, the bill came in at $2.5 million. The amendment makes it to $3 million increased for fiscal 25, and then that'll be part of the baseline going forward.
The amendment.
On the amendments, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
The bill's amended.
The bill is amended. Discussion, seeing none. Yes, sir. Another DFH special. This is another one you're in love with? You gotta get them right.
Yeah.
Mr. Vice Chair, Doggett Harrison, Doggett Boafo, Doggett Howard is excused, Doggett Charkoudian, Doggett Rose, Doggett Pruski, Doggett Fennell, Doggett Turner, Doggett Valderrama, Doggett Chi, is excused, Doggett Frazier Hidalgo, Doggett Adams, Doggett Aaron's, Doggett Pippy, Doggett Jackson, Doggett Johnson, Doggett Rogers, Doggett Ampery, Doggett Wyval, Doggett Fisher, Doggett Queen, excused. All right, colleagues. So again, I want you all to be prepared to vote. I'm going to say this one more time. Do not call the attorneys for any amendments whatsoever while the floor debates are going on. Even if it's not a bill that is ours, they're working and they're listening. So I will please ask you again, do not call our attorneys. They're busy working. Secondly, I'd like everybody, Republicans included, but don't worry, there'll be no tricks, to be prepared to lead on the floor debates tomorrow. You'll receive an email if you have a book. So I want to make sure that everybody's ready to, if you want to fight the good fight, please be ready. And remember, you've heard our Republican colleagues, they're good at what they do. So it's not enough to read, but make sure you know the bill. On it, just mine though. Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you guys very much. Have a good day.